The rook's coming in for another check. Oh my goodness.
Why did Hans Niemann just go full CARLSEN rage mode? Well, he's at the Esports World Cup playing Anish Giri. They're into this last chance qualifier. It's tense, and we're going to reveal everything that went down in this game, plus another look at that clip. Giri had black here. What a tense 80 odd move game. Now we're diving right in. They're playing at computers opposite each other in the room in Riyadh. Hans essaying this Italian system here, but it's online, super tense, 10 minutes each and no increment, no time added per move. Now we see knight c3, d6. It's very standard stuff. Quick castles there, high five between the players, excellent etiquette, and look at this bishop. It soon finds itself out on a limb. First retreating, Hans centralizes here. We get the first minors leaving the board, and now Giri puts his hand up for weirdest move of the tournament. Why on earth is he sticking the queen there? We're gonna see the point. He drops back the knight. Now after rook e1, we get pawn to c ships. This is the point of the remaneuver, and the knight heads here. Looking at this tasty square, surely you never in a million years do this. Andrea starts spinning the beats. What an exciting game, gaining space, but giving up a square. How's Niemann going to keep going here? Well, he plays d4 for the score. Now, you could play something steady like queen c7 to cover this pawn chain, connect the rooks, but instead we see takes on d4. It is a mistake because after the knight recaptures here, it's headed for f5. Plus, you've unleashed this pawn now. They are running fast. You know, there's no pawn on e5 to oppose that push. And now things get worse after takes. You could take with the queen, preferred by the all-powerful engine, and pawn takes. Look at this. For a pawn avalanche, the Great Wall of Niemann is coming down the board here. This bishop tickles the rook, comes to this square, looks a little clumsy, but it covers the center. That's the key thing. And now after queen d7, connecting the rooks, Niemann roars like a mighty chess lion, locks this bishop out the game. I mean, that is miserable. It's like being forced into watching the entire Twilight Saga. Who wants to be put through that? Now we see bishop f4, all of the pieces finding their natural squares and no messing about. You could of course prepare this, but pawn e5, and it is a great move. Take the space, offer the queen exchange, you're still killing it in the queenless endgame, so Giri keeps them on the board. Creates a pin, no e5 or lose the bishop, so the queen slides over, covering that piece, turning the tables, so check is played. King g2 looks really natural, but we actually get this. No time to take. You know, the rook is covering the square. So here, and now look at that. No longer a bishop, really a pope, or a wooden shield as Hikari would say. It's uh-oh carbonara time for Giri, and now we see rook e4 lifting, protecting, again offering a queen exchange. Given a slight miss, because apparently black can sack an exchange and get some little funky play after this, and then takes on b2, sorry. So you shouldn't take the rook straight away. This was the line I had prepared earlier, but I had to reset my computer. Fun and games. And here white's still doing really well. But no, the line is takes, actually giving up the queen. This is what I had prepared. Apologies. And black has a rook and a bishop for the queen. But still, this is locked out. It's getting weird. We didn't see it played. Instead, queen a5, bishop c3. Don't blunder the lady. Another check. And now with the advance of this pawn, love this move. After queen c7, Niemann whispers, stack my bishop. He's cutting down that counterplay on the queen side, so he can really just rotate the pieces now, cover any invasion points, and bring a ferocious attack against Giri's king. This really is beautiful chess, stacking 19s of points of pressure, so it gets kicked back. Now we get e6, sets up this wonderful connect 4, unlocks a spa day with Danny Wrench, out of this world prize. Now pawn recaptures. I mean, it's absolutely awful. All the pieces centralizing, Giri getting kicked from pillar to post, and king g3 is sadistic. Now pawn storming these final kingside pawns. Bishop g8, desperately trying to round this one up. So h4 was played, bishop d2, supported by the rook. And the best move here, just a winning knockout blow, is pawn g5. Well done if you saw that one. No idea how. And this is the key line. If takes, it's not about pawn recaptures, but check. This is the only move not to get mated. And now you take. No bishop takes. Queen is supporting. And the rooks are simply steamrolling over to the h-file, whereupon you kill black. There is absolutely nothing to do. Mate in 9 with best play, or most crazy play, giving up pieces with check. But Niemann didn't play g5. If you don't take, by the way, in g5, well, white's ripping it open anyway. In the game, though, bishop f6 was played. Also a good move, but not as clean. If takes, not played, you can crash through, and here's one sample line. You take there to then allow this kind of tactic, and the material's back level, except white's 2 pawns ahead, still got the safer king. So we come back, no takes, instead we see rook f8, pinning, good defense from Giri, queen d3 hits the bishop, this one bounces back, attacks, x-ray defends, so queen f5, again the queen's hit, centralizes here, and now we do see takes. There's big pressure piling up. This is the best move. The rook crashes through, threatening this discovered check, but then mate on g7, so we see rook g7 to defend. Rook f7 looks absolutely terminal, but Giri finds this, forcing the queens off the board. He's just alive, but Niemann's calling the shots. In the driving seat, I prefer takes and then this to bring the king in and invade with the rook like this. But in the game we saw this, slightly different variation because the pawn comes to f7, but still look at that pawn, look at the rook. Another one is won, so Niemann's a pawn to the good, but now he plays this crazy move. Just clicked it too soon. But why didn't he just go here, right? Leave the pawn where it is, just start piling on this gargantuan pressure, give it away in the right moment, spin around, something like this, sample line. But this is a little bit rushed. Now you can get king takes. This still completely winning for white, but not as clean. 2 pawns hit. Rook d4 is now played though, b3 and bishop d3. Ever so slightly annoying, but Niemann should just carry on with his plan. Take this pawn here. This is how the game could have proceeded. And yes, you only get 1 extra pawn ahead, but it should be decisive. Other ways to play, of course, get round, stop the pawns, but 2 connected will always be enough to win the game, usually, right? Especially against 1 pawn. That was the way to go, but this was played. Now we see the rook stay on the board here, g5, an exchange of prisoners, bishop g6, and what gets really annoying here for Hans Niemann is that when he makes his way here, the king sets up the barrier and somehow he's burnt off like a minute on all of this stuff, looking for a winning plan. Now he's even down on time, 10 seconds to Giri's 16, they get no increment, so you can very much be flagged. What is Niemann playing at? He's now got 6 seconds to 13. This is nuts. He's one of the strongest blitz players in the world, but this is not Title Tuesday where you get 1 second. This is the Esports World Cup. No increment. He's down to 3.5 seconds. He desperately sacks the rook here. Not that he had to. Could have been pushing that a-pawn. This still completely winning, but he has got no time. Advances the pawn, rushes it. Can't carry on checking. Bishop munches. So this was played. Now loads of checks. And the game here was lost by Hans Niemann on time. Slams the table.
The rook's coming in for another check. Oh my goodness.
Tragic for him. It was actually a complete win, by the way. You know how to proceed here. Well, the winning idea is this. just to show you, where are we? Here, let's take it like this. Because once you bring the bishop to f7, then you can bring in the king, and you can't take or the pawn goes through. So here's how the game could play out. Rook just waiting, but then you bring in the king, and eventually you can make the queen, or you can bring the bishop to intercept in some lines. These are really the key ideas. This is a one game here. Bishop blocks, king comes back around, that goes through. But hey, you got to do it within the time control. Niemann crashes and burns there, and he does not go through. Giri does, plus some others like Sindarov, Aronian, forget who else. So they make it through to this classic few days to come. Really looking forward to that. Have a look at the video on screen if you want some more epic chess, and I hope to see you again soon. Cheers.